All right. Pay attention. Meditation. Okay. All right. So let's do a brief discussion of meditation. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. So as far as what we've talked about a little bit with the brain, you guys have so the brain has 3 regions of it, right? It has the brain stem, which is the most reflexive, like we talked about. Then we have,
Can you get those notes back?
yeah, I have them. I'll give them to you. So brain stem is the farthest. So if we have our spine here, brain stem is the earliest version. It's reflexive. It just happens. So all of our fears, our panics, happen at the brain stem. Okay? We have our limbic system, which is where our emotions are. And then we have above that our neocortex, which is like our cognitive thinking and function. So we kind of live in our neocortex most of the time. We kind of are there. But if we get really, really stressed about something, our brain will pull all of our blood and our faculties back to our brain stem. That's when we get like stuck in a stress cycle. So if we think about something, we just get obsessed about it, we can't get out of it. You can almost feel like you turn red sort of feeling, like you just get really, really mad. You go to your brain. So our brain doesn't have a lot of good thinking here. It's just instincts. It's meant to survive. So neocortex, Neo-cortex. What? Limbic system is our emotions. So how we feel, it's about 5 or 6 portions of the brain, but it's where our emotions are housed.
And then neocortex
Is like, no, neocortex is the farthest out, is more of like rational thinking, logic. It's like kind of what we consider being a human, right? It's like being able to make rational decisions. So when our energy is flowing well and we're in tune, we're able to use our neocortex pretty well. But when we get stressed, it's like if you think you forgot something and it's due, you forgot to do your declamation and it's coming up next, and you literally didn't do anything, you fall into your fight or flight responses, fight, flight, or fright, which is right there. So when we get stuck in that, that's meant to be biological so that we can survive. But then if we can't get out of that, then we just stay stuck in that stress loop. So getting back, it's good to have this because it keeps us from dying. And then we need to hop back up to our neocortex and just be able to go back to regular thinking. Okay, so meditation is one of the ways that when done both acutely, short term it's helpful, and if you do it all the time, over the long term it's helpful. So the way I like to give an analogy for meditation is that if you're in the ocean, in a giant ocean, the waves come, and it's like us in the ocean initially, how you are right now, in a life jacket. So you're in a life jacket in the ocean. Sometimes the waves are calm, and sometimes it's really aggressive, and it's bad storms. Okay? And we have a life jacket on, so we're not going to drown, but sometimes we feel like we're going to drown. We get tossed around really easily by the environment. If it's a calm waters, we're fine. If the waters come in and knock us around, we feel terrible. Okay? Then when you start to meditate, it gives you a little bit of security. So it goes from having a life jacket on to now being in a small boat. And so you're not as affected as much by the waves, but you still get moved around a little bit. And then you meditate more. Let's say you meditated for a year. Then it's like you're now in a yacht. So you're in a big boat. You can withstand some of the waters in the currents of what happens in life to you better, but really big ones will still knock you around. But we're doing better than if you're in a life jacket. And then if you've meditated for like 10 years and you're someone who's done this your whole life, it's like you're in a military aircraft carrier. The waters in the environment doesn't change. It's how you tolerate it that changes. Okay? So if you're just out there in a life jacket floating around, you're going to get tossed around by bad things that happen. If you've done it for 10 years and you're professional at meditating, those same life environments that are going to happen come, but you're able to tolerate it and it doesn't mess with you as much. Does that make sense? So just the idea of meditating and getting good at that allows you acutely, so short term you can tolerate stress better, but in the long term those same things that are going to happen to you in life won't be as aggressive to you, and you can kind of just stand back and observe it versus being just sucked into it. Okay, so that's how we stay a little bit more in our neocortex. So one of the ways, also we have 70,000 thoughts a day on average. Okay, that's a ton. So if we kind of look at thoughts as things that just kind of run below the surface every day, and it's just kind of our conscious right here. So our conscious is right here, and this is all of the crap that gets in our way, right? It's all of our, yeah.
70,000?
70,000. So conscious thoughts a day. Let's not even count subconscious. So if this is the subconscious line, and this is what's below, and this is the conscious line, this is all the little stuff that doesn't really matter, but it just gets stuck in our head, right? We kind of loop around like the same negative thoughts over and over again. And then we occasionally have our nice, calm, big thoughts. So meditation over time is raising this bar so that the big important things that happen still happen, and the little things sort of get washed away. So now our new conscious perception is here. So we still have the little things that pop up, but the main important things that matter to us stay, and all the little stuff just kind of fades away. And it's being able to just be aware of the big things that are happening, still aware of the life moments, but it's just being able to tolerate those little, so all this little foliage, this stuff that on the bottom just kind of drifts below. And you can still have those thoughts anytime you want, but you kind of have a little more control over it. It's like weight training for your brain, right? Like, or conditioning for your brain. At the beginning of a sports season, you're out of shape. By the end of it, you're in good shape. So it's like that. You're getting yourself to be able to notice your best thoughts and let the negative reoccurring ones just kind of drift below the surface. Okay? So in meditation has a weird view in the United States. It is not just sitting and thinking about nothing. It can be. I think the most valuable meditation for people like you guys, initially, for anybody starting, is guided meditation. So if you might think of meditation as sitting and thinking about nothing, guided meditation is thinking about something specifically. So on YouTube, there's a bunch of guided meditation channels that I will give out, and it'll be like 10 minutes or 12 minutes, however long you want, and it will take you through how you think about something. So just like if you play a sport and you visualize how you do a technique, so if it's basketball, a shot, or soccer move, it's visualizing, they take you through and they say, think about this, think about this, think about this. And that is meditation. It's guided meditation. So it's just following what they tell you to listen to. It's very simple. And by thinking about what they tell you to think about, you forget about the rest of the stuff. And that might be all you ever need to do is just guided meditation.
Are we going to meditate in the weight room?
Maybe. In the wrestling room, we could. Yeah, I know. And then over time, so there's guided meditation, which is a way of thinking about something specific. And then there's meditation where you just kind of think about nothing. That is significantly harder to attain, so I would just go for thinking about something, guided meditation. So if you just go to any Google or YouTube and anything, guided meditation, confidence, guided meditation, anxiety, any of those things, there's thousands to choose from. I'll send one out to you guys all. It's a really good one that I recommend doing. Guided meditation, and then just regular meditation, yeah. But I think for you guys, the best version is guided. It takes you to think about something, and therefore when you're thinking about something, you're not thinking about the stuff that you're trying to avoid. Versus if you just think, I'm not going to think about that, that's like impossible, right? So you think about something, and then it takes you there, and the rest just kind of trickles away. And over time, as we raise this conscious line from like being aggravated and can't get out of our own way, like mental weight training, we get up to this point where just the things that really matter to us surface through. And it feels way better because we're just thinking about the things that it's kind of like weightlifting. We can control our brain and what we want to think about. And it's like we're being that big aircraft carrier. So by the time, if you guys do this for 10 years and you're still not even 30 yet, and life's going to happen, bad things are going to happen, good things are going to happen, you have more of a control over it versus your brain just running you, right? So our brain works for us. We don't work for it. So the more you are able to learn this early on and have some control of this, it's like anything else, right? Like it takes a little bit of time. There's nobody that just started playing a sport and is a pro right away, right? They take years and years to get better at it. So just like this, you guys have a good running head start so that by the time you graduate college, you'll have absolute control over this. And you'll deal with it as you go through and you're making your college decisions. So I will send you one guided meditation initially just to at least think about and to try out. I will give you extra credit for doing it when you say you do. It has to be on the honor system, obviously, because it's not the same as with our moving, rocking, and crawling. I'm not going to have you.
Maybe the one that you sent us?
Yeah. Well, no, it can be any. It can be any. I will give you one, but you can do any. Yeah, that's fine. And I would love for you guys throughout, just like we said, this is being in tune, right? So the mental part of it is understanding where our self-esteem and our true colors is, and it's being able to have that control to some extent of our mind, just like our body, just like our physiology, and it's putting it all together. So we're going to go down now, and we'll do our rolling, rocking, and crawling. And then, yeah, leave your notes here, and we'll go from there. All right?